So yes, my work for this show is a site-specific series of gelatin photographs. Um, the original immigrant artist I was looking at is a Japanese photographer, Idaka Yuichi, who was at the new Bauhaus, and I believe he was teaching from 45 to 47, so right at the end of the war or after the end of the war. And he was an architectural photographer, and he would go on to photograph Frank Lloyd Wright homes for Architectural Digest in New York Times, I believe. And we all know that Frank Lloyd Wright, he is highly influenced by Japanese architecture and building in terms of how space was divided or not divided, in contrast to kind of Western classical traditions. And so you have the expanse of the interior space by the shoji screens, which kind of open up the whole room, so that you can look out into the classical garden or the Zen garden outside. So you're creating this expansive interior and exterior space in one building, and that's reframing this idea of doorways or windows as spaces or portals. And so for the show, I was decided to photograph the spaces, respond to the architecture of this exhibit hall, which opened as the reference room in 1897 when the Cultural Center opened as the library. And it was this extra space, and I'm actually sitting, you can see, but I'm actually sitting in the original reference room photograph here. So what you see, this side are the window bays that you see right behind my photographs on the screen right there. But this bay of windows and then that bay of windows right behind me have been boarded up over time inside the Cultural Center. But actually they've just been boarded up, and from the inside of the gallery space, you see the white wall, which is where Saba's work, I believe, hangs, and on Roni's side of the exhibition. So you can't see the existing window frames anymore, but the two photographs on the outside that you see here in this install image are taken from outside of the gallery space. So from the rooftop, yeah, that's from across the hall on the hallway that leads you to the other side of the fourth floor. But you can see the remnants of these windows that have been boarding up. And so I was also looking at French architectural philosopher Bernard Cachet and his idea of inflections as this point on a mathematical kind of graph on a curve, which is the point where the movement kind of shifts. So when the concave turns to convex, or at the bottom bottom of a parabola where the directions kind of change. And so I'm thinking about doorways and frames and window spaces as this portal, or as remnants of the history of this architectural space and of the people and the way that the room was used before. And so these frames kind of become inflection points, and that they hold this kind of moving image memory space. And in analog image making terminology, we have to talk about the latent image, which is kind of this image that holds all of the information but is not become present yet. And so I'm thinking about these reverse latent images, and that they have reduced or kind of hold and via this blocking of the old space and of the old frame as these kind of archival archaic images. And that's the series.